Sometimes in a small group, a member of the group can bring up some kind of surprising, unexpected crisis, a bombshell, and just drop it right in the middle of the life of the group. That's because life is full of unsettling surprises, and so it could be something very challenging. It could be a cancer diagnosis, or someone who just lost a job, or they just found out that a member in their family went through something really difficult, whatever it might be. Those things come into our small groups because our small groups are usually a caring, loving environment. Well, there's no way to prepare in advance for something that you didn't know was going to happen, a shocking experience like that, but your group can really rise to the occasion to be used by God in helping deal with those issues in people's lives. Here's some ideas on how. Number one is be flexible. It's okay to ditch the meeting's normal agenda. If the issue comes up when people are walking through the door at the beginning, they start to talk, well, that just became the agenda for the evening. Or if the issue comes up when people are sharing prayer requests, you don't just add it to the list and move on. It's something important that needs maybe to stop and give it some attention. So be sensitive to just when it's time to really make that the most important thing in the group. And you as a leader are the one who gets to decide how much of the ordinary agenda that you want to try to salvage and how much you need to just deal with that issue. And part of that depends on how shocking the issue is and how much people need time to process it emotionally. The point is you can be flexible with the agenda for the evening. The second thing is stop and pray. Now, people are going to want to talk about the issue. They're going to want to probe for all the details. But once the basic facts are on the table, then the most important thing you can do as a group is to pray. Now, you can do that anytime in the evening, whenever it's appropriate, and you can take as long as you need to do that. But be sure to stop and pray. Don't just talk about it, but pray. Now, when you're dealing with it, you need to be careful about what you say. When the problem comes up, you don't have to immediately try to solve it. Now, a lot of us jump into that mode. We want to start fixing things and just throwing Bible verses at the problem. And you may have to steer certain members of your group away from that kind of response. Now, time is going to come when that kind of input is needed and some solutions and maybe some answers will be helpful. But what the group can do best is to say things that offer encouragement and emotional and spiritual support. And in fact, that's the greatest strength of what a small group brings to the table in times like that. So be careful what you say, not just trying to solve it, but really offering legitimate support. Now, after the meeting, there's probably a time when you want to follow up. With your leadership team, pray about how to share the right truth at the right time. Because as important as that emotional support is, sometimes a person also might need to be gently nudged to trust God or to obey God in the midst of that crisis. To be honest, sometimes the responses that people make to difficult times don't always honor God. And so a crisis situation like this becomes a great opportunity for a person to take some next steps in following Christ. And so you want to follow up with a phone call or a face-to-face appointment just to listen more, to discern more, and to help that person figure out how to apply God's truth to their situation. And then the last thing is I want to encourage you to coach your group. To coach the group in how to respond to the bombshell that just got dropped. Some members of your group may not be prepared to provide support when the bombshell gets dropped. Some of them won't want to be involved, and we've seen people actually leave small groups to avoid having to take on that responsibility. Other members may not respond maturely to the issue. So you want to coach your members and help them process how to be a good group in this kind of a need, and help them embrace the need for the long haul if that's what they need to do. Encourage members of the group to show expressions of love and support and care on their own outside the group. And then when the group meets, from time to time, you can talk about the progress of what's happening with that need. Now, really, your leadership team has done a great job if your group is the kind of place where people can drop a bombshell, because it means that you've succeeded in creating a trusting environment where people are going to hear the right truth at the right time.